Okay, so good morning. Welcome everybody to the Pathway CTM launch talk. So we're here this morning. We're launching to the East and Anglia of the country. So look, this session is live and it is also being recorded. So there is a chance that you're watching this as a recording, which is fantastic. I'm recording it today. It's the 29th of September, and you'll understand in a short while why that is important. So we're launching this program across the UK, and we've done it for a few years, but we want to connect with students to show you how to use the resources on the website, why it's useful to be signed up as a student on this. And also as a teacher yourself, you may be looking and trying to understand, why would I want my students to be part of the Pathway program? Why would I want to be part of the Pathway program? And those are the things that we're going to touch on. I've got three people that are going to talk about their experiences as well. And the important thing is that they're all from this part of the country, because what we want to show you is that there are opportunities in your area. As Pathway CTM, we work with many different organizations. We work across the UK, and we try to be relevant to the regions that we're dealing with, so that when we work with companies, are they based in that area, and can we reach students in that area? Because I grew up in London, so I don't understand it, and because I grew up in London and everything is available here and everything is so London centric. But when I moved to Exeter for university, I realized that there is a more beautiful country outside of London, but there sometimes are not as many opportunities. Well, that's not true. There are so many opportunities, and we want to talk about them. And as a company, Pathway CTM, we engage across the country in different regions, and that's why we're doing these regional talks. So let's get on with it and find out who I am and why am I here and why am I talking. So I'm Max. I'm the outreach manager for Pathway CTM. So I run a lot of sessions for students. I do student support. I run sessions, outreach sessions in schools, which teachers, if you're interested, there is information on our website and you can get in touch with us about that. But those are sessions to empower students to understand from years 9 to 13, what am I capable of? What can I achieve in the future? Where can I go? And what does a career look like? Because there's so many different pathways. And that's why we exist, to try and help you understand, or not understand, but just to put the choices in front of you. And then when you have those questions, you can ask us. And we have the people in the background that will be able to direct you in the right way to help you make a better decision for your future. So as a student, you're going to take the power into your own hands. Even at year 9 and year 10, you're thinking, well, I'm really young. This is way too early. You're absolutely right. But that part of the program, what we do is we introduce you to yourself and help you understand your strengths, understand what you enjoy, and with what you enjoy and what your strengths are, what could a future look like? What GCSEs might you need to take? What A-levels might you need to take? Do you even need to take A-levels? Do you need to go on to do that? Do you need to do BTECs, or can you do an apprenticeship before a degree? All of these things become confusing at times, and that's why we're here, to help you understand them better. Okay, so that's what the Pathway program is about. There is a QR code on the screen. You see this QR code right here. If you're watching the recording or you're watching this live, it all applies. As a student, you grab your mobile phone, you turn on the camera, and it's nice and easy. You literally turn on the camera and you hover over the QR code, and a little pop-up pops up, and you press it, and it takes you straight to the website. And you'll see it in a second on my mobile phone. And it takes you straight to the website to sign up, which is easy. Otherwise, you do pathwayctm.com/register, and you can scan that at any time. So what's the point? Why am I signing up? So when you sign up as a student, or even as a teacher or a school, you get access to all of these resources. So you get access to all of our events, and all of our events for students are free. We don't charge students. There's no point. Students need to be able to find out this information free of charge. Okay, so the events are free, and we run all of our events in the evening, because we know that taking time out of children's curriculum is difficult. If you're year 10 and you say to your teacher, oh, yeah, I'm just going to skip maths today because I'm going to go and sit on a pathway session, that's not good. You can't do that. So we'll run them in the evening, and the recordings are then always available for you. So we have a video library where you can go back and say, look, I signed up for it, but I wasn't able to make it, but I want to watch it. So let me watch the video of it. Set aside an hour. During half term, we do virtual work experiences and what we call taster days, and those are more involved, and those give you more chance to do some pre-work, to do some work with the company that we're doing the work experience with, to get some feedback from them, to ask questions, get to live site tours that could be done via video, because the world is now virtual. We are also going to be looking at doing things in physical format as well, and that comes later in the year as things open up and become more relaxed. Okay, so you'll have that. You can search our events and you can come to them for free. You have online resources. I said that I do outreach. What does that mean? So my outreach is things like how to identify your options as a school leaver. What are the options as a school leaver? And we have a module about that and some videos from different people talking about the different routes. Is it a gap year? Is it a university degree? Is it a degree apprenticeship? Is it an apprenticeship? And what are the differences then? Or is it a sponsored degree? And what is that? So we look at all of those options, and you hear from people that have done them or run them. And then you can be more informed to make your decisions. We do things like how to write a CV, even if it's for a part-time job. You might be 15, 16 and think, I need a bit of money in my pocket to save up. I want a part-time job. How do I write a CV? We have sessions on that, about what to put on a CV, because at 16, 17, even at 15, can be confusing what to put on there. And we want to help demystify that. I used to be a recruiter for a company. I worked in apprentice recruitment, and I recruited managers and operations managers as well. So I have quite a lot of knowledge, recruitment knowledge, and I've worked with young people at the early career stage, which is what you guys are at. And so I understand the difficulties and how to approach those things. And I used to write assessment centers for the company that I worked for, and I ran them as well. But then, like I said, we've got work experience opportunities, and then there's prizes, competitions, and more. Okay, so look, I've explained a lot of words. I'm now going to show you in proper format. So let's have a look at our website. So when you sign up as a student or even as a teacher, these resources are available to you as a teacher as well. What are we talking about? Now, I mentioned events. Let's talk about events. You might be thinking as a student, well, I want to go and find out about different companies and different opportunities, but what are these events and where are they? And as a teacher, we do specific teacher and parent events so that we can engage with teachers and parents. And we do other events as well that teachers are invited to as a parents, and they're for students too. So when you look at events, for example, we have a whole calendar. We've got today's regional launch talk, which is on there, and I'm doing one later this afternoon for the West Midlands. So you can see those, and I'm doing the Thames Valley. Those are all the regional talks, so you can see the calendar. But for example, we have careers in water with Severn Trent. You might have a look at that and say, well, what is that? What is a career in water? What does that mean? You can come to the event and find out, and you'll meet people from Severn Trent, and you'll meet potentially apprentices or even graduates, and they'll talk about their experiences. But what are the career opportunities? Because when you look at water, what does that mean? That's where we debunk some myths about what is available, what can a career look like. Okay, so those events are there, and that's for you guys to be able to go onto our website and register yourself. Why do we do this? We do this because we want to empower you as students to understand what your future could look like and make your own decisions. You have to understand that your teachers do a fantastic job at teaching you, educating you, putting opportunities in front of you. But me and my team in our company, we work with these companies to get the information. We work with them to say, what information do we want to pass to students? And also we talk to students and then say, this is what you guys are telling us that you want companies to listen to. And we go back to the companies and we share that information. And whatever that might be, your recruitment process is really difficult, or your entry requirements are hard, or your website's rubbish. It's sometimes as simple as that. But we have that engagement, and that's our job, so that we can then engage with you as a student directly. So you're part of our program. You've said that when you signed up, you're interested in either construction or law, or you could be interested in engineering, or you could be interested in accounting, finance, whatever it could be. When we run an event with a company that's in that sector, we'll let you know and say, hey, we're doing an event. Do you want to come along? Why is that easier? Because you have to understand that for your teachers, if we keep telling them every time we're doing an event, that's an overload for them, because then they have to think, as much as they want to do it, it can be difficult, because they may be thinking, well, okay, so these events are going on, but which students was it that was interested in these sectors? And it can be difficult for them. So we engage with you directly, because then you make the decision to come along to the event. You find out your information and you make your decision for your future. And it could be you come to an event with Severn Trent Water and you go, that's not for me. That wasn't interesting at all. I don't like that company. Great. Now you've identified what you don't like, and you're starting to narrow your list down about what your future could look like. That's the whole purpose of coming to events. So those are there, the events are there. You can have a look and see everything that we do. Every time we do an event, we record it and it goes onto our video library. So if you were to go to the watch tab, even as a teacher, you can use these resources in classrooms. You can go to our video library, and we have on here all of the events that we did last year that were recorded, all of the work experience, the taster days, the insight events, across all different sectors, NHS, Vodafone, KPMG, Inmarsat, all of these different companies that have opportunities. The video library expands more and more, and you can go and watch those. And you can look by industry sector, you can look by employer, and you can look by employability skills. And again, as a student, you can use that resource in your own time. Teachers, you can use this during class time, and you can set up some of these to use in class. So that's what the video library is there for. So then let's get down to it. When you think about, well, what are these events and who are these employers and how am I going to know this? Well, you've got an employers tab, and we've set up the profile so you can see who all of these different employers are. Let's get rid of that video.
Hi guys, my name is Chris. I'm the founder and CEO of Pathway CTM, and this is a short video to you to make sure that you understand why you should.
Okay, so when you come down, oh no, that's the videos. So when you go to opportunities here, I'll show you employers again in a second because that doesn't seem to, there we go. So when you come down to employers, you've got all of these different companies that we work with, all of them that are there, okay, all that are here. And you can have a look and say, for example, I don't know, where are we? Telford Homes. Ewan is on today. Let's have a look at Ewan's profile. Excuse me, the Telford Homes profile. So when you go on to Telford Homes and you have a look and you say, well, who are they? What do they do? Well, they're in construction. There's information about them. You can watch a video about them as well. And then you can see, well, when are their live events? If you click that, it will tell you as we book those events in when their events are. What are the videos that we have that we've done with Telford Homes? And we've done quite a few actually. So you can see those videos there. And that applies to every employer that we work with. And then the opportunities button, that will come live as we get further into the year. The opportunities that we're talking about, even if you're in year 9 and year 10, the opportunity could be work experience, physical and virtual work experiences, okay? It could be summer programs that companies run. It could be evening programs that companies run to try and engage with students and help you understand more about their industry and their company. But also we've got opportunities such as apprenticeships, degree apprenticeships, Flying Start programs, or even UCAS applications in the, so when you look at the Dyson Institute, they have a specific program and an entry requirement, and we help students understand what that is, okay? So those opportunities go live. And when you say, I'm interested in that opportunity, I run student support and I run an application clinic, and I help you guys. You come along to that clinic and I help students understand how to get your application in and what you need to think about. I don't do it for you. I empower you to understand how to write a good application. And then similarly, if you're invited for an interview, an assessment center, psychometric testing, I can prep you for that as well, because I work with the companies to understand what their processes are, and I can prep you for what you're going to find. Can't teach you how to pass it, but I can teach you and show you how to prep for what is going to be coming ahead and what you're going to be faced with, so that when you go in, it's not a surprise and you're armed with the best defense that you can have to increase your chances of getting that opportunity. And that's what we do. So that's why it all links together. It all comes one into the other and into the other. The last tab I'm going to show you is the Learn tab. Teachers, you can use this. Students, you can use this. There's modules. These are the modules that I teach in schools, okay? So for example, we start off with my knowledge. And at year 9, year 10, year 11, you might be thinking, well, I'm not at the application stage yet, but let's have a look. So you've got a module about your school leaver options. You've got a module about understanding your strengths, because it's important to understand what your strengths are and who you are. So we've got those options. And when you look, there's videos in the sessions, and we look at different bits: apprenticeships, degree apprenticeships, university, gaps years, sponsored degrees. But then there's a tab that's called materials. When you click on the materials tab, you have everything you need. All the different blogs, all the different YouTube videos that are linked to that session that provide you extra information. So the more you interact with it, the more you delve, the more you will find, and the more help you will get to make those decisions. And it doesn't matter, like I said, if you're year 9 or year 13, the information is useful and it's there, and you can use as much or as little of it as you want. If you are watching this recording and you have questions, you can email me at student@pathwayctm.com. When you email me, that comes straight through to my team's inbox, and we can talk about anything that you want to know: how to use the program, what options are available, what events are going on for you this year that are going to be helpful for your future. If you are on the session live today and you've got questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'm here. And we've got volunteers as well. That is the website. I could keep showing you more and more and more, but it's for you guys to go and explore. And that's why it's important to get signed up. When you go to sign up, you tell us what you're interested in, and then we interact with you directly to help you understand what events are happening, what opportunities are happening. And when you're signed up and you tell us you're interested in, let's say, law or accounting, finance, construction, whatever it is, as soon as an opportunity is available in that sector, we email you to let you know, are you interested? And we send you a link for that application as well to make it easy for you. And then you can get in touch with my team and we help you out. That's the website. That's the resources that are available. Now, we're going to meet some local employers, some people that work for companies that are in your areas, and this is what we were talking about, trying to keep it regional, trying to show you that there are opportunities and things in your area. And everybody's got a different story. So we're going to meet 3 different people. And by sheer fortune today, we've got 2 people with the same name on, but I've managed to work out how I'm going to differentiate. And I'm going to start with Joe from Allen and Overy. So good morning, Joe. Welcome.
Morning.
How are
Nice
you?
to meet you all.
Thank you. So, Joe, tell us, I know we asked you to prepare stuff, so rather than me asking you questions, I'm just going to say, go for it.
Yeah, I will go for it. Hi, everyone. My name's Jo. I'm the co-lead for solicitor apprenticeships at Allen and Overy, which is one of the largest law firms in the world. And I've also been a lawyer there for 20 years. I've just been blown away by everything you've just shown us, Max. I mean, honestly, if there was one thing that I wish I knew when I was the age of the people watching this, I wish that I knew that organisations like this existed. I went to a comprehensive school in Ipswich. I didn't have any information at my fingertips. You know, you were talking about advice on A-levels. I took wrong steps on A-levels because my parents hadn't done A-levels or gone to uni. I was just kind of guessing. So I had to do a bit of a switcheroo on my A-levels. The point about not being surprised at every step, honestly, through my career, I'm lucky to be where I am now and a lawyer at a big city law firm, because I was kind of surprised at every level because I didn't have anyone guiding me. So I just think those resources you've just shown are amazing, like on the education side and on the employability side. I mean, I couldn't recommend it highly enough, and I don't have any skin in the game to say that, but honestly, it looks brilliant. In terms of information I can give you guys today, I can't speak for other professions or other sectors, but I do know a lot about law and law, what we call city law, which is the practice of high value law in London. So what I can tell you is the degree apprenticeship route to becoming a city lawyer is just as valuable and just as prestigious as doing it via the university route. I can promise you that because I've done a lot of research into it, and I've actually given up my career as a lawyer to put everything into launching solicitor apprenticeships at Allen and Overy. It's that important to me. And I can also let you know that everybody in management is 100% behind it, which is why I decided to pivot my career in this way. Why would you choose to be a solicitor apprentice instead of going through the more traditional route? I could talk about this all day, but I only have 5 minutes. You'll have no student debt. We pay all your tuition fees from day one. You earn from day one. So our starting salary for a year 1 apprentice is £25,000 a year. And that increases year on year to approximately £50,000. Yes, it's good, isn't it, Max? £50,000 in year 5. So only 5 years into being an apprentice at Allen and Overy, you could be earning £50,000. There are also an awful lot of benefits. I mean, I'll start with the ones that I like, which is a 10th floor roof terrace where we have drinks and barbecues. There's a free gym. We have personal trainers, lots of restaurants, lots of cafes, dentists, doctors, physiotherapists, mental health practitioners. We are really very, very well looked after, and I wouldn't have stayed for 25 years if we weren't. So all of that becomes available to our apprentices the day you join. We don't treat you any differently. You are an employee with us. We're all part of the same team. So if you're in year 13 now, our applications open on the 13th of December. And these are for opportunities starting in September 2022. It's a 6-year programme. So do keep an eye on the aograduate.com website. The information's not on there yet, but it will be soon. And who knows, maybe we'll team up with Pathway in the future and you can access all our stuff through Pathway too.
Fantastic.
Is that all right, Max?
That is perfect. And actually, I want to pick up on something that you said, because sure. What's important is, look, when I went to university in the year 2000 and I did A-levels, and like your story, pretty much the same. I just chose A-levels because that's what I was good at, but I didn't really know what I was doing in my future. I didn't have a choice. So students, when I got to 16, 17, my choice was quite simple. My parents said, you're going to university, you get to choose what you do. If you don't go to university, forget about talking to us ever again, because my parents had no education. They both left school at 11 and 13, and that's why they moved to the UK from Italy, because it was a better life and a better society over here. So when it got to it, when I was choosing my GCSEs and my A levels, I couldn't ask my parents their opinions because they're like, A, we didn't grow up in this country. B, we never finished our education. So we don't know. We just know that you need your education. That's why it's really good for you as students to come to these events and get that information, but also invite your parents, get your parents signed up, because they're a big influence on you and they want to know this information too, because the one thing that the parents want for you is the best, but they can only give you the best when they have the information. So help them out, bring them to these events, show them what's available, share the resources, and then you can make decisions together better, and it's better for your future. But also, Joe, when we think about now, what are the considerations? Let's be honest. When I went to university, I was the second year that had to pay tuition fees. So I paid £1,000 a year. My brother, he is 5 years older than me. He paid no tuition fees and he was given a grant. So no loan. He was just given money, never had to pay anything back. I had to pay my loan back and I had to pay tuition fees. Now, those fees are a lot higher. So there's a different consideration now, isn't there? And you were talking about how important and how prestigious the degree apprenticeship for solicitors is. But that's why companies are doing both university graduate roles and degree apprenticeship roles, because they're both as prestigious as each other. But some are right for some and one is right for others. And it's about finding that information, right?
Correct. Yeah, they're both as valuable as each other. And we're really keen to get the word out about this new route to becoming a qualified lawyer for those who might not have the finances to go to university. And that's part of my, my inspiration for introducing this route, to give everyone a fair chance, regardless of their financial circumstances.
Fantastic. Thank you, Joe. Really appreciate that. Awesome. And then, so let's go to Ewan from Telford Homes. Ewan, welcome. Good morning. How are you?
Morning. Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good. Same.
Good.
I know we asked you to prepare stuff, and rather than me ask you questions, why don't you just go for it and I'll ask you as we go along.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, morning everyone. Hope you're all well. Unfortunately, unlike Joe, I'm simply one of the apprenticeships on the apprenticeship scheme, so I don't know too many of the details to date. But I'll run through what I did, how I got into it. So as you mentioned, I was in sixth form. Didn't know what I was doing, didn't have any motivation to do anything. I didn't want to go to uni. I would never put anyone off uni, but personally, I didn't know what I wanted to do in the future. If I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, a doctor, and I knew I had to go to uni, I'd have gone through the process. But I didn't have a clue. I lost motivation. I had my mum nagging me, my dad nagging me, everyone left, right, and centre nagging me, saying you need to sort out what you're doing. I was working at Boots part-time. And I thought I'd just do this for the rest of my life, living, earning good money, stick with my mum. And unfortunately as well, I did have all these resources available, and I didn't use them. I definitely should have used them more, but I didn't have any, as I said, motivation to even think about what my next step was. But one day my mate turned around and he said, look, I'm going to one of these job fair things, similar to Pathways. It wasn't Pathways, but it was along the same lines. There's going to be apprenticeships there. There's going to be companies, universities as well. And I've sort of dragged myself along, thought I may as well. And the first thing I'd say to anyone who, when I was 18, in that position, don't go with your parents. Go with your friends. Go with people that you get along with, because you will walk around there with your mum. She'll say, look at this, look at that. You go, no, I don't want to do that. Go with your mates and they'll say, oh, you like that? Why don't you talk to them? And you can go, no, I can't be bothered to talk to them. But you'll feel a bit more relaxed if you're doing it with your mates. So I spoke to a site manager from Telford Homes, and I think that was the first thing I noticed, actually talking to people. Nothing against the websites that you've shown us, Max, but I think talking to people, you get a completely different feel for it. I spoke to a site manager. He was a bit older than me. He was still young, and I felt like I could relate to him. He sort of said the same sort of thing as me. And it was good to hear it from someone in the position doing what I ultimately would be doing. So I signed up. As I said, I was still in sixth form, so they didn't contact me for about 4 months or so until I was ready to apply, rather than drawing me in and then I say I've got 4 months still to finish sixth form. And they showed me the requirements, the grades I'd need. The grades weren't too important because I knew I'd be starting at a level 4 in college. But it was good. It took the pressure off me getting any amazing results. And then it changed my mindset. I thought, well, I may as well do as well as I can in sixth form. These grades will help me at some point in the future. So it did ease the pressure. But I did walk into results day knowing that I'd secured a job. So that was a nice feeling. There was people there stressing about whether they get into uni. Again, not knocking any of them, they put their work in, but it took the pressure off me having no motivation and whatnot for a lot of the year. But it was a bit too little too late. But I managed to get in on the apprenticeship. I had an interview, as I said, previous to results, had an interview and I secured the job within the month, started the following month in September 2018. I'm now in my 4th year, which feels like my 4th week because it's flying by. But 4 years in, and it is brilliant. Similar to what Joe said, from the day I started, you're just another employee. You're not a trainee. You're not the new guy. You're just another employee, and that does. I know everyone says it about their own companies, but it did reflect well. The companies, I walk past the directors, the CEOs in the kitchen, and they talk to you as if you're anyone, which is good. It does shine through. I've mentioned how I went through the apprentice route. As I said, I wasn't keen on uni. I didn't want to go, and I thought I'm not going to go for the sake of it. It's an expensive night out ultimately. So I thought I'm not going to go for the sake of the social side of it. Again, not knocking anyone who does. They all have their reasons for it. And now I'm getting paid, probably living better social life than half of my friends that are going to uni. So I can't knock any of that. Any advice for students? I think don't stress. Don't rush into anything. There was a few things I looked at, I thought I'll do that, and it would take my dad or my mates. They go, look, you don't want to do that. You know you don't. You just feel like you have to. School were pushing me to sign up for uni. I was thinking, I'll just do that to shut them up. But don't rush into it. You will find something. And I didn't particularly want to be in construction. My dad's a builder. I never looked at him and thought, I want to do that. I want to get in a pair of boots every day and work. And now I am. Now he asks me for help, and he's been building for 40 years.
What's the actual role that you do at Telford Homes? What is your apprenticeship?
I'm a trainee site manager.
Okay.
I'm currently they offer a rotation program, which is 9 months in the other departments. So I'm currently doing that, which again is brilliant. You get to learn all the other sides of the company. If I turn around, I'm in the pre-construction department at the minute. If I turn around to my boss and said, I think I want to stay here, they'd go, fair enough. He'd say, I don't want you to. But the service is there. You can turn around and say, look, I actually think I prefer this. I don't. I'm getting bored of sitting in an office all day. I want to be back out in the sun on site. But it's good. It's good to learn the full scale of the company.
Fantastic. And there's a couple of things that you said that really resonate and are important to pick up on for students as well. And whether you watch this live, whether you watch the recording, this is all valuable information for you guys, because look, you've just heard it from somebody themselves. Don't rush in to making decisions that aren't the right decision for you just because somebody else has said. Now, Ewan has made a really good point. Going to these events and these fairs can be difficult if you go with your parents, because it was the same for me. Like your parents saying, right, you want to do that, you need to do that. It's like, Mum, this is my future. Yeah, but you I'll make the choice for you. Your parents just want the best for you. But when you join up to something like the Pathway program, you come to these events by yourself. You do your own research. The website is for you. You look at it. You do your research without any pressure from anybody else, and you get your information that you are interested in. Okay. And then when the time is right, you want to show your parents, but your parents can come to events that are not with students. And we talk to them about opportunities, and they get to meet companies and understand the processes as well. But also, Ewan, you said as well about the fact that you had these things available to you, but you didn't take advantage of them. And now you kind of wish you had, but you're in a great position. You're doing a great job. You've got an apprenticeship, and you've really moved on and you've moved forward. But what was it that held you back then? Why do you think you didn't? I know that's a personal question, but why do you think you didn't engage as much as you could have done?
That's fine. It was mainly down to the sixth form. The sixth form was brilliant, but I didn't know what I was doing there. It was the easy option to stay at school and do sixth form rather than go to college, start something new. So I stayed at sixth form, and I just slowly lost motivation, and I couldn't be bothered almost to think about anything else. As I said, I was working at Boots. I thought that would get me by 3 days a week for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
And it took a lot of talking from my mum and dad saying, look, we know you can do stuff, and you don't want to just sit at Boots all day. You don't want to go full time there and start doing something that you don't want to do. And it did take a while for it to click. And near the end of sixth form, I thought, yeah, what am I going to do? All my mates were signing up for uni. Some of them had jobs, and I was going, yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing. And then I sort of went to one of these and flew straight past them.
Fantastic. And that's why, so for students and teachers, this is why we engage with year 9 onwards, because it's important to try and get options and information. Doesn't mean you have to make a decision at year 9 or year 10, but at least the information starts to be there. Because when you listen to what Ewan is saying and potentially being in sixth form because that was the option, but wasn't really for him. Maybe Ewan, if you'd had more options when you were starting your GCSEs, maybe you'd have gone a different route or even started an apprenticeship with Telford Homes earlier. And another thing I wanted to pick up on is that you mentioned going to that job fair meant that you could speak to people directly, which was important. And I totally get your point. Now we're trying to do things virtually because we can reach more people and we're losing a bit of that physical touch. But I can assure you that, so for students and teachers, the insight events that we run and the virtual work experience days that we run, but the insight events that we run, the reason why we run them is because you come along and we actively get you engaged with the people on. So you could come to an insight event and meet Ewan and Joanna and Joe on an insight event and ask them questions directly and speak to them directly. And that's as good as, well, almost as good as meeting them physically, because trying to set this kind of stuff up can be difficult. But that's the power of coming to our events. And that's what the benefit of coming is. Ewan, thank you so much for that. Really,
thank you.
Really appreciate that. It was really good to hear. So let's move on to Joanna from the Dyson Institute. Welcome, Joanna. How are you?
Hi, yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Very good. So same with you. Go for it. Tell us your story.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a second-year undergraduate engineer at the Dyson Institute. I started mid-pandemic, so last September now. And I'm initially from Norwich. I went to a regular high school and then moved to a STEM specialist sixth form college. Well, not even sixth form. I moved there for year 10 onwards. So pretty similar to, as you were saying, getting people involved from year 9 onwards. I think moving to that STEM specialist college at year 10 really made a difference to me and my pathway.
What was the college?
It was a UTC, so yeah, UTCN in Norfolk. And I studied maths, further maths, physics and computer science A-levels. And then obviously sort of midway through that second year, had to go home and didn't go back to college for 6 months until results day came along. So in that time, I had to apply for a lot of things online, not really knowing what would be available to me at the end of it. So I applied to around 10 degree apprenticeships and uni as well, knowing that I wanted to do engineering, but not knowing exactly what I wanted to specialise in. And one thing with that was a lot of the things I applied to either got cancelled or I didn't get through the application process, even though I thought that I was fit for the role. And yeah, so one of the things for me personally with that, and my advice to everyone who is applying to degree apprenticeships or to uni as well, is just to make sure that you apply to as many things that you find that you might be interested in, because you never know if you're going to get it, and it's not really an option until you get that offer through. So in the end, I got 2 degree apprenticeship offers and also had some really good, attractive uni places. But for me personally, having spent the last 3 years at a STEM college and had a lot of industry experience, so I'd done internships with Shell, I'd done work experience at BT, and I've been involved with a wide array of companies, including leading workshops for a wind energy company, sort of internationally too. So having done all of that, I realised that if I didn't have industry involvement when I was learning, I was really going to struggle to understand the applications of what I was learning. So as a degree apprentice now, I am studying for my degree, which is now accredited for the Dyson Institute, and doing that 2 days a week whilst also working in a placement 3 days a week. I actually get to see the real life applications of the degree that I'm learning. And I think that if I was at university, I'd just be studying and feeling like what I was learning was kind of redundant, because a lot of the things that you do learn at uni, yes, they're relevant at some point, but they might not actually be relevant to the job role that you do at the end of your degree, or the job role that you're doing alongside your degree in my case. So being able to have both sides of that, I think, has really helped me, and also sort of helped me develop professionally and academically as well. So we're based in Malmesbury at the moment in Wiltshire, and so relatively near Bristol. So I moved all the way across the country mid-pandemic again to kind of get to where I am today. And I wouldn't have changed it for the world. I've learned so much more than I thought I could have learned in a year, and I'm really looking forward to learning more in the next 3 years too. And we were very fortunate as well, because with that we had accommodation provided for us in our first year, and compared to some of the uni accommodation I've seen from my friends in the last couple of months, we're incredibly lucky. We got some very nice accommodation, which we pay for out of our salary. We get paid from Dyson. So not only do we graduate debt free, but we're getting paid that salary on top. A bit like Joe said earlier with the perks packages that degree apprentices get alongside, every other employee. We get brilliant perks too. So things like, free lunches at the moment anyway, and, free gym, all of these things as well. And you're just treated like a regular employee. But alongside that, we have a great community of degree apprentices. So I think there's around 150 of us at the moment as well. So we do have that kind of social side as well. And I do feel like we've kind of got the best of both worlds. We're having that sort of social life that you might get at uni because you've got that community, but also everyone's quite like-minded. You'll get along and you're getting 4 years of work experience when you graduate. So it's brilliant from that perspective. So yeah, if you're interested in Dyson as well, our applications do open in later this autumn as well. So it's worth having a look at those. And yeah, that's pretty much me.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Joanna. And yeah, I mean, look, I've seen the Dyson Institute accommodation, and it is pretty swanky. When I compare it to when I was at university, I mean, we're talking it's a level above. One quick question, because we are short on time, but this is a silly question. But you work for the Dyson Institute now. In your rooms and in the accommodation, do you have things like Dyson vacuum cleaners and those wonderful heaters and coolers and all the hair dryers and that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So we share a vacuum cleaner between like our kitchen, and then we have the desk lamp, and also the only heat source that you have in your room, and it works absolutely perfectly, is one of the hot and cools. So we don't actually require any other heating. We just have that for our rooms, which is pretty cool. But yeah, then we have to move out for second year, so leave that for the first years.
You have to use your salary to buy it, but that's fantastic. Those are great perks. And look, for students that are on, for teachers that are on, we've talked about this a lot, and you've heard the experiences and differences between university, going to university to do a degree and going the apprenticeship route. Of course, there are perks with companies and stuff, and I can imagine that Ewan is probably, when he gets to it, he's probably saving his money. He's got a nice deposit building up, hopefully. And then when he comes to it, I'm hoping that if he buys a Telford home, he'll get a discount on that as well. That's quite a perk. Is that right?
Too much time in those to go anywhere near buying one of them, I'll be honest.
Ewan's going to buy
lovely,
a
they're
bigger
lovely,
house.
but when you see it from the stage we started, you wouldn't want to go.
Hopefully you're planning on bigger and better houses. So look, let's move on. We've met the three people that have been able to engage with you guys and hopefully share valuable information to help you feel more empowered about your future and how to make better decisions going forward. I've got a video that I want to show you guys, and then I'm going to talk quickly about our prize giveaway. I know that we are at 9:57, so we are going to run slightly over by a couple of minutes, which is fine. But I will say to any of my volunteers that have joined me this morning, I know that we said until 10, and if you have to leave at 10, that's absolutely fine by me. I just apologize that we might run over by a couple of minutes. So let's watch this video. So this video is alumni, apprentices that have been through the Pathway program and have gone on to study using our resources. They got into their opportunities and they applied through us. So let's hear from them. It's only a quick video.
I had no idea what I wanted to do at leaving school.
I was pretty set on going to university because I guess all my family did it.
A lot of my friends wanted to go to university, but I knew that wasn't the right option for me.
I didn't really know what options were available. I was never really persuaded by university after A-levels because of the cost that it came with.
The idea of an apprenticeship was very unclear, but then Pathway actually came to my school and gave a presentation. And the more I was exposed to the insight days provided by Pathway, it became clearer and I became more certain that that was the route I wanted to take.
I didn't know anything about apprenticeships. So to gain these qualifications and to kind of further my education is great.
Through my apprenticeship, I gained a level 4 diploma in business and administration systems, and I didn't know that that was an option available to me before coming to the Pathway program.
I get a bachelor's degree in 3 years, the same as everyone else, but the difference is I finish with 3 years experience and a job, which is quite nice, and I don't get the debt.
If I didn't come through the Pathway program, I think apprenticeships really would have looked like the second option or a lower tier to university. But actually what I've seen is that apprenticeships can come on the same tier as university. You can get degree level apprenticeships.
I go to university once a week and the other days I'm at work, which means I actually live a bit of the university life whilst actually being paid to get my degree.
My advice to any students unsure about their future is to explore all options. Don't just go with what your friends are doing. Make sure you have a list of kind of options to choose from, and do something that you enjoy, but also something that gives you that experience.
Pathway is a fantastic organisation. They really kind of pushed me, but in a positive way, making myself feel like I could actually do it, that it wasn't beyond my control or my ability to actually be successful.
When I was at sixth form, I felt really lost and I didn't know whether to go to university or what jobs to apply for. Through the help of attending Insight Days and filling out the online survey and using the website, I found out what roles were most suited to me.
I would encourage students to complete the Pathway online survey because it only takes 5 minutes and you have no idea what it's going to lead you to.
Okay, so you've seen the video. I said at the beginning of the session that this recording is happening on the 29th of September. Why is that important to know? Because we're running a competition until the 29th of October. So if you're watching this after the 29th of October, competition is finished and closed. I'm doing my match of the day bit. Don't enter. Well, you can still enter, but you're not winning any prizes. But the competition that we are running is quite simple. We're giving away prizes over the next 5 weeks. Okay, these are all the prizes that we're giving away. So we've got week 1, we've got two work experience days with Pathway. Week 2, we're giving away Apple AirPods. Week 3, a UE Boom Bluetooth speaker. Week 4 is a £100 night voucher. Week 5 is Beats by Dr. Dre headphones. Okay, so to enter the competition, it is quite simple. We'll do the draw for all 5 weeks on the 29th of October, and you could win more than 1 week. All you need to do is go to pathwayctm.com/register, complete the sign up form, and you're in the draw. Simple as that. Anybody that signs up from yesterday all the way up to the 29th of October is in the draw for all of those prizes. We're doing the draw on the 29th of October, and it's as simple as that. But you don't just want to sign up because of the competition. You want to sign up because of all the information that you've heard from our volunteers. You want to sign up because of all the information I've shown you about the website and how you can empower yourself to make the best decision for your future. It's your future. Ewan said it. Don't stress. You have time. Just do your research and find out what it is that's going to be right for you. There is no stress about it because you can make different decisions in life. Choose one. If it doesn't work out, you choose another. But go armed with the information that you need to be able to make those choices and be comfortable with those choices. The more info you have, the better you are, the better choice you're going to make. And hey, look, I went to university. If I had my time again, I'm not sure I would go to uni. I don't know if I'd do an apprenticeship, but I probably wouldn't go to uni. I loved it. But nowadays, it just would have been me. There's so many more options, and that's what we want to show you. So don't stress. Come to our events, meet the companies, meet the employers, and make the right choices for yourselves. So if you're in classrooms, watching the recording, scan the QR code like I showed with the mobile phone, or go to pathwayctm.com/register and get yourself signed up to the Pathway program. We look forward to seeing you on the events and on the work experiences, and maybe I'll see you in outreach. So to everybody that came this morning, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your time. Joe, Ewan, Joanna, really appreciate your time and the preparation that you put in to your stories. Thank you so much, everybody.